great prophetess of the Lakota nation. I see you. At the apex of the Black Hills. I hear you. You are beautiful and wise. You are white buffalo calf women. I love you. On this sacred hill we smoke. We smoke your pipe of harmony. We bridge this realm and the next. Our ancestors come in this dreaming. For I am Wakanda. For I am the sun and the wind. Born from her eternal light. White buffalo calf woman. You are her eternal light. I wear these peace talismans of wampum, which you gave me on this earthly plane, to honor your love and wisdom. Great Suix priestess. Thus you ascend, with your coat of many colors. My creatrix. You love all of humankind. You have shown me the way. You are for in my vision quests. My guardian spirit. For we have lived and loved many times. I await the prophecy of peace. I shall tarry hither, tending your fire. I shall smoke your pipe, connecting sky and earth. Till the white buffalo calf woman returns. With you, balance shall return. Lady Rainmaker speaks. I listen, with a full heart.
The White Buffalo. To the Native Americans, the birth of a white buffalo signals end times. 3 such animals have been born since 1995. One died shortly after birth. In 1996, the world ushered in another white buffalo calf in South Dakota. This is a prophecy symbol related to the end times we are now entering. Legend of White Buffalo Calf Woman. One summer, long ago, the 7 sacred council fires of the Lakota Oyate, the nation, came together and camped. Every day they sent scouts to look for game, but the scouts found nothing, and the people were starving. Among the bands assembled were the Utasibjo, the without bows, who had their own camp circle under their chief, Standing Hollow Horn. Early one morn the chief sent 2 of his young men to hunt for game. They searched everywhere but could find nothing. Seeing a high hill, they decided to climb it in order to look over the whole country. Halfway up, they saw something coming toward them from far off, but the figure was floating instead of walking. From this they knew that the person was Wakan, holy. At first they could make out only a small moving speck and had to squint to see that it was a human form. But as it came nearer, they realized that it was a beautiful young woman, more beautiful than any they had ever seen. She wore a wonderful white buckskin outfit, tanned until it shone a long way in the sun. It was embroidered with sacred and marvelous designs of porcelain quill, in radiant colors no ordinary woman could have made. This Wakan stranger was Tsnwi, White Buffalo Calf Woman. In her hands she carried a large bundle and a fan of sage leaves. She wore her hair loose except for a strand at the left side, which was tied up with buffalo fur. Her eyes shone dark and sparkling, with great power in them. The 2 young men looked at her open-mouthed. One was overawed, but the other desired her and stretched his hand out to touch her. This woman was Lila Wakan, very sacred, and could not be treated with disrespect. Lightning instantly struck the brash young man and burnt him up, so that only a small heap of blackened bones was left. To the other scout who had behaved rightly, the White Buffalo Calf Woman said, "Good things I am bringing, something holy to your nation. A message I carry for your people from the Buffalo Nation. Go back to the camp and tell the people to prepare for my arrival. Tell your chief to put up a medicine lodge with 24 poles. Let it be made holy for my coming." This young hunter returned to the camp. He told the chief, and the people, what the sacred woman had commanded. So the people put up the big medicine teepee and waited. After 4 days they saw the White Buffalo Calf Woman approaching, carrying her bundle before her. Her wonderful white buckskin dress shone from afar. The chief, standing hollow horn, invited her to enter the medicine lodge. She went in and circled the interior sunwise. The chief addressed her respectfully, saying, "Sister, we are glad you have come to instruct us." She told him what she wanted done. In the center of the teepee they were to put up an oankawakan, a sacred altar, made of red earth, with a buffalo skull and a 3-stick rack for a holy thing she was bringing. They did what she directed, and she traced a design with her finger on the smoothed earth of the altar. She showed them how to do all this, then circled the lodge again sunwise. Halting before the chief, she now opened a bundle. The holy thing it contained was the chanipsa, the sacred pipe. She held it out to the people and let them look at it. She was grasping the stem with her right hand and the bowl with her left, and thus the pipe has been held ever since. Again the chief spoke, saying, "Sister, we are glad. We have had no meat for some time. All we can give you is water." They dipped some likangat, sweet grass, into a skin bag of water and gave it to her. And to this day the people dip sweet grass or an eagle wing in water and sprinkle it on a person to be purified. The white buffalo calf woman showed the people how to use the pipe. She filled it with chanchesha, red willowbark tobacco. She walked around the lodge 4 times after the manner of Hanpatuwi, the great sun. This represented the circle without end, the sacred hoop, the road of life. The woman placed a dry buffalo chip on the fire and lit the pipe with it. This was Pitawi Hankashni, the fire without end, the flame to be passed on from generation to generation. She told him that the smoke rising from the bowl was Tankashala's breath, the living breath of the great-grandfather mystery. The white buffalo calf woman showed the people the right way to pray, the right words and the right gestures. She taught them how to sing the pipe-filling song and how to lift the pipe up to the sky, toward grandfather, and down toward grandmother earth, to one side, and then to the 4 directions of the universe. With this holy pipe, she said, you will walk like a living prayer, with your feet resting upon the earth and the pipe stem reaching into the sky. Your body forms a living bridge between the sacred beneath and the sacred above. Wakantanka smiles upon us, because now we are as one earth, sky, all living things, the 2-legged, the 4-legged, the winged ones, the trees, the grasses. Together with the people, they are all related, one family. The pipe holds them all together. Look at this bowl, said the white buffalo calf woman. Its stone represents the buffalo, but also the flesh and blood of the red man. The buffalo represents the universe and the 4 directions, because he stands on 4 legs, for the 4 ages of creation. The buffalo was put in the west by Wakantanka at the making of the world, to hold back the waters. Every year he loses 1 hair, and in every one of the 4 ages he loses a leg. The sacred hoop will end when all the hair and legs of the great buffalo are gone, and the water comes back to cover Mother Earth. The wooden stem of this chanipsa stands for all that grows on the earth. 12 feathers hanging from where the stem the backbone joins the bowl the skull are from Wandli Galshka, the spotted eagle, the very sacred bird who is the Great Spirit's messenger and the wisest of all flying ones. You are joined to all things of the universe, for they all cry out to Tankashala. Look at the bowl. Engraved in it are 7 circles of various sizes. They stand for the 7 sacred ceremonies you will practice with this pipe, and for the Osidi Shakoan, the 7 sacred campfires of our Lakota nation. The white buffalo calf woman then spoke to the women, told them that it was the work of their hands and the fruit of their bodies which kept the people alive. You are from Mother Earth, she told them. What you are doing is as great as what the warriors do. And therefore the sacred pipe is also something that binds men and women together in a circle of love. It is the one holy object in the making of which both men and women have a hand. The men carve the bull and make the stem, the women decorate it with bands of colored porcupine quills. When a man takes a wife, they both hold the pipe at the same time and red trade cloth is wound around their hands, thus tying them together for life. The white buffalo calf woman also talked to the children, because they have an understanding beyond their years. She told them that what their fathers and mothers did was for them, that their parents could remember being little ones, and that they, the children, would grow up to have little ones of their own. She told them, you are the coming generation, that's why you are the most important and precious ones. Someday you will hold this pipe and smoke it. Someday you will pray with it. She spoke once more to all the people, the pipe is alive. It is a red being showing you a red life and a red road. And this is the first ceremony for which you will use the pipe. You will use it to keep the soul of a dead person, because through it you can talk to Wakantanka, the great mysterious. The day a human dies is always a sacred day. The day when the soul is released to the Great Spirit is another. She spoke one last time to Standing Hollow Horn, the chief, saying, remember, this pipe is very sacred. Respect it and it will take you to the end of the road. The 4 ages of creation are in me. I will come to see you in every generation cycle. I shall come back to you. The sacred woman then took leave of the people, saying, Taksha Akwasinyangting Ilo, I shall see you again. The people saw her walking off in the same direction from which she had come, outlined against the red ball of the setting sun. As she went, she stopped and rolled over 4 times. The first time, she turned into a black buffalo, the second into a brown one, the third into a red one, and finally, the 4th time she rolled over, she turned into a white buffalo calf. A white buffalo is the most sacred living thing you could ever encounter. The white buffalo calf woman disappeared over the horizon. As soon as she had vanished, buffalo in great herds appeared, allowing themselves to be killed so that the people might survive. And from that day on, our relations, the buffalo, furnished the people with everything they need: meat for their food, skins for their clothes and teepees, and bones for their many tools.